Alright, hello. Starting to get ready here. Let's go ahead and start with Navigraph, try to get this going. I need to figure out some stuff about weather. So we're leaving from Milwaukee, and we're going to be heading to LaGuardia. Alright, and let's just check the weather at LaGuardia. 260 at 6, 10 statute miles, fuel at 15,000, scattered at 25,000, temperature 15, dew point 11, altimeter 3034. Alright, sounds good. Let's see what TAF, just checking the TAFs here, make sure that we're still good. Yep, so it looks good. So no need for an alternate. Yeah. Let's see what runways they're running. So presently they're landing 2-2. Whether that will change or not, I don't know. So, but we'll expect 2-2. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll try to plan that out in the game. So if we're landing 2-2, let's go on this northern line here. That looks probably best. Yeah, let's do that. And let's check out Milwaukee and see what Milwaukee is running. Let's check Milwaukee. Looks like 19 right, 19 left, 25 right, 25 left is not in use. What the departing 19 right? Let's check 19 right. Looks like 19 right on the way out. 19 right. That looks good. All right. So 19 right. Looks like what we'll be taking. And then likely we'll be doing 2-2. Alright. So that looks best. So, let's see. Alright, 19 right. Yeah, 1 for 19 right. It's gotta be the Arcaro then. Nope, right there, 19 right. MKE 19 right. That looks good. Alright, 19 right, and then we'll park up. Right, let's check that. Make sure that looks good. I have to verify everything because of the way the game does everything. Alright, 19 right, that looks good. So the Milwaukee 9, let me write all this down. Alright, Milwaukee 9 off 19 right. So Milwaukee 919 right. We're expecting we'll get Nobby 5. Nobby 5, and then we'll let it figure it out, but likely we're going to be landing 2-2. Alright, that's good. And then let's go ahead and see do flight number and everything else. I got to see what the altitude is going to be. 35 makes sense. Alright, 350. And then we're going to be 4964. Alright, that's good. Weight and balance. Let's see. I think I did like, go to pounds. I got like 65. Let's go 65% on the fuel. Let's check that. Make sure that looks good. That's probably, that's a little touch excessive. Let's go like 63% maybe. 62 even. We can probably go to 60 actually. That looks good. All right, verify altitude. That looks good. So let's go ahead and, oh, don't touch stuff. There you go. Let's go ahead and launch that. I gotta get some screenshots here for a thumbnail. Let's see if we can finish setting up the video. So print screen, click it quick, you dig it. There we go. Good, I wanted to get Milwaukee Airport. That's a good picture too. I'm trying to grab all of them here. See if I can get one. That's a good one there. Trying to get some thumbnails for templates. I love it. I click on stuff, and then my PC's been like, nope, not clicking on it. So come on, dude, just do what I want. I like this. There we go. That's the one I've been wanting. Alright, good. So that's good. That's I have all the thumbs I need. Alright, that's not a good sign. Why is track IR not on? Damn it, if I have to launch track IR again, I'm gonna be annoyed. Is track IR not running? God damn it. Something's up with track IR. Why? Why can't you just work? Sometimes it doesn't like relaunching itself. There we go. All right. Yep, track IR is bugged now. That's awesome. That sucks, man. Come on. I'm not gonna have track IR. It's freaking annoying, man. I really don't want to relaunch this game either. Takes too long to set this shit up. Literally, you have to do everything in order. Like, you have to put track IR on, and then now it doesn't want to communicate with the game, so it's just like, pain in the balls this is. It really is. Alright, guess we have no track IR. That's fine. I'm going to be AFK for a bunch of the flying, too. So. Alright, good. That's done. Let's go ahead, and we'll go to realistic. Save that. Let's go to checklists. Come on, click on checklists, you jackass. Hydraulic pumps are off, nose wheel steering's off, landing gears down, spoilers are stowed, flaps are stowed. Radar is off, ADG handle is stowed, emergency flaps are stowed. And let's turn on the battery. Battery is on, let's check the DC voltage. That's at least 22. APU and bike built-in test equipment, SOV shutoff valve is open, APU door is open, spinning. Alright, let's go ahead and I gotta start moving on Navigraph here. What is beeping? What was this master caution all about here? I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and I gotta do Navigraph here as well. Alright, 3 departures. We got the Milwaukee 9. Alright, Milwaukee 9. That's good. And then, let's see. I'm doing Nobby 5. And let's see where we're actually going on the Nobby 5 here. Alright, so recirc fan. And packs. Alright, AC, DC, and hydraulics are all good. Alright, IRSs need to start aligning. Alright, I need to see what my transition on the Nobby is. Probably, is it Albany? RKA, I believe. RKA, right there. Alright, RKA, and then we'll work on approach in a second here. Let's check the first point off. Alright, we're going to what? Ruby. R-U-B-Y-Y. Alright, are you not gonna do what you're supposed to do there, game? Shit. Let's see if I can delete this off and here, let's just do this. I'm just gonna start from fucking scratch. Be quicker. Walkie 9, add to root, okay. That's good. All right, see what's after Ruby here. Berries and twigs, whatever that is. These names. All right. Berries right there. Okay. So it looks like Ruby is the start of the airway, and we're going all the way down to twigs. Okay, there's just 2 waypoints there. I was wondering why there were so many friggin' letters. CFJHV, and then we're going after that to CFTBR because those are Canadian. So twigs to right here. Okay. Berries on Q438. Twigs. You see, this is the Canadian-US border right there. Alright, so I'll run it, start running it in the airplane too here. Let's get that set up. Okay. LaGuardia. 4964. Milwaukee 9 off of runway 19 right. And Ruby. Ruby. And that is, what was the airway? Q438. Let me just double check. It's hard to see the Q's on here. Q438. Q438 to this. CFJHV. Q438. And then it is, oh come on, pain in the balls that. I'm gonna just go back to Navigraph quicker. CFJHV, CFJHV. CFJHV. Alright, that's good there. Alright. Then after that we take going to CFTBR. CFTBR, let's check that. CFTBR. CFTBR. But definitely gonna be off airway. Up there. Alright. And then we're back on an airway. If I can see what the airway is. There we go. Q818. Q818, and we're going to go over Buffalo. Right. If the inbuilt Flightsim flight planner didn't suck so bad, you wouldn't have to use secondary ones. Alright, to, what is that? Wozy, Hank. Wozy, Hank, RK. Wozy, Hank, RKA. Alright. That's Wozy right there. See if Hank's on the airway. Hank is on the airway. And then RKA is, I don't know if it is or not. No, RKA is south. Okay, so Wozy, Hank. So that's Q, and they change airways, huh? I'll just do Wozy, Hank, it'd be quicker. Stop. What the fuck happened there? Why is that not in there? CFJHV. Why are we not to CH? There it is, okay. Wozy. Hank. KK. Okay. And then we can do the arrival. The Navi 5 off of RKA. Alright, that's got us set. Alright. Get the weights going here. 11.826, 11.826, okay. Copy that. Looks the same. We're good there. Runway 19 right. Good. Alright, that's good. Alright, IRS is aligned. Alright, let's quickly grab ATIS.
Milwaukee Airport information, Charlie 1200 Zulu. Wind 214 at 14. Visibility 10. Sky condition 6,500 feet scattered. Temperature 21. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.904. ILS runway 19 right and visual runway 19 left in use. Landing and departing runway 19 right and runway 19 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Charlie.
Charlie.
Clearance delivery Endeavour for 964 IFR to LaGuardia, ready to copy.
Endeavour 4964 is cleared to LaGuardia Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 19 right climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 135.875 squawk 1411.
Let's put that in the ADF instead of there.
Endeavour 4964 cleared to LaGuardia Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 19 right climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure on 135.875 squawk 1411.
Endeavour 4964 readback is correct. Contact ground on 129.05 when ready to taxi.
Overheat.
Good day.
Night cargo 1470 heavy. Continue taxi.
Alright, we're
Roger,
almost
Night
ready to go
Cargo
here.
1470 Heavy.
Go read some checklists. Passenger signs on, landing elevation set. Go. Let's set that to. It's not set yet. Alright. Keep going. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Thank you, thank you. There we go. Alright, landing elevation is set. Altimeters are 2,994 within 75 feet of field elevation. FMS is checking set. IRS is line nav. Radios and nav aids are set. Takeoff briefing. Let's go ahead and we'll grab Navigraph. We'll do that. Alright, be taken off of runway 19 right. We have 9,990 feet of runway. If we have any issues before 80 knots, we'll stop on the runway. Anything after 80 knots, we'll only stop for critical events. Anything after V1, we'll go ahead and we will take in the air. Expect, we'll call for left traffic and come back to 19 right. Any questions? No? Good. Alright. Alright, I gotta put all this shit in here now too. Let's go. Departure Milwaukee 9. There's the Mitchell 9. Okay, let's read the Mitchell 9. I'll put in flight plans later. Right, pretty much I think it's just a heading. So let's see, takeoff minimums, those are all standard. Okay, initial climb. Turn to assigned heading, maintain 5,000 or assigned altitude. Expect radar vectors to joint filed assigned route. Expect clearance filed altitude 10 minutes after departure. Alright. Just reading through it real quick here. Alright, so we're going to expect runway heading on that. Let's go ahead and... what's the runway heading? 191. Let's put that in. Fortunately, track car is not working. Right, 191. Let's read the FMS. The FMS has the turn in there as well. So 1,130 feet will make our turn. So, alright, that's in. Alright, let's go ahead and takeoff briefing is complete. Clear to start. Alright, let's go ahead and shut some doors. Check the doors page.
Captain, the cabin is secure.
Doors
All
page
passengers
is
are
good.
aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew,
We're
welcome
talking
aboard this
6.8.
flight.
6.8.
We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before
Quickly do
takeoff,
that.
we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
6.8. Alright. Call to push.
Ground Endeavor 49er 64 requesting pushback.
Endeavor 49er 64 pushback request accepted.
Alright, asking to spin 1. Spinning 1. Park brake off, parking brake is off, flaps coming to 8. Should be, engine should start up within 90
Ground
seconds.
Airbus Charlie Sierra Bravo 518 requesting pushback. Airbus Charlie Sierra Bravo 518 pushback request accepted.
Guy just got run over. I don't know why we were parked the way we were. It's weird. Game's funky. Alright, 1 is up. Timing's good on that. We'll go taxi out on 1.
Ground Endeavor 49er 64 requesting the end of pushback.
Endeavor 49er 64 request to end pushback received. In case of a drop in cabin pressure, breathing masks will drop from the ceiling and should be placed over your head.
Checking AC/DC, hydraulics, all on. Should have read the clear to start, but we'll do it now. Late on that. Alright, clear to start. Devices are off, APU is on, electrics check, takeoff data is set, doors closed, lock beacon is on, fuel pumps running on, and 11.8. Hydraulic pumps auto on, parking brake is on now. Clear to start, checklist, app start. Stop, this is too loud. Generators are auto, electrics check, bleed valves are auto, packs are on, APU is going to stay on until we get the second engine started, anti-ice is going to be off, nose wheel steering is now armed, app start checklist complete.
Airbus Airbus Charlie Sierra Bravo 518 taxi to and hold short of runway 19 right using taxiway Romeo Tree Romeo Tango Cross runway 25 left Tango Echo Cross runway Tree 1 Echo Cross runway 25 right Zulu Foxtrot. Contact tower on 124.575 when ready.
Let them. Alright, you don't want to?
Taxiing hold short runway
They're so
19
slow.
right via taxiway Romeo Tree Romeo Tango
Really
Cross
like it if
runway
track
25
R would
left Tango Echo
connect
Cross
up.
runway Tree 1 Echo Cross runway 25 right Zulu Foxtrot Airbus 518.
Ground Endeavour 49er64 with Charlie ready to taxi IFR.
Our flight controls.
Endeavour 49er64 taxi to and hold short of runway 19 right using taxiway Bravo Kilo Echo Cross runway Tree 1 Echo Cross runway 25 right Zulu Foxtrot. Contact tower on 124.575 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway
There we go.
19er right via taxiway Bravo Kilo Echo Cross runway Tree 1 Echo Cross runway 25 right Zulu Foxtrot
track
Endeavour
ours.
49er64.
Killing me here. No track error is killing me. Can't look at all. Sucks. Alright, so that's flaps set to 8. Flight controls are for incorrect. Trims are 6.8 and in the green. Thrust reversers are now armed. Flight instrument checks, brake temperatures are checked. Tech checklist complete. Alright, we gotta start 2, but we'll start 2 in a second here. Alright, clear right, clear left, going left. Shit. Okay, I was gonna say my rudders weren't working for a second there. What the hell, game? Game got laggy and my rudder stopped working. That's right. That sucks, man. Game's being funky today. Really not enjoying not having track IR working here. Alright, we're clear to cross. Go ahead and spin 2. Start the timer.
Ground Wisconsin 9er Tree Heavy request taxi to the gate. Wisconsin 9er Tree Heavy taxi to Gemmo Aviation parking using taxiway Tango Echo Mike Cross runway 19 right Mike Cross runway 19 left Mike November Cross runway 25 left November. Taxiing to Gemmo Aviation parking using taxiway Tango Echo Mike Cross runway 19 right Mike Cross runway 19 left Mike
What is
November
up with
Cross
the
runway
fucking
25
rudder, man?
left November Wisconsin 9er Tree Heavy. Airbus 518 hold position. Caution other traffic.
Switch to tower.
Airbus 518 continue taxi.
Wait till we at least got 40 seconds on that engine before we go. Alright, let's go ahead and check AC power, DC power, hydraulics. Okay, we can shut off the APU. Alright, here we go.
Milwaukee Tower Endeavour for 9er64 at runway 19er right, ready for departure IFR to LaGuardia.
Endeavour 49er64 altimeter 29er.9er 41214 at 14. Cleared for takeoff runway 19er right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 19er right Endeavour for 9er64.
Right, light strobe set fuel cross flow is to manual. Give me rudder pedals. Come on, dude. It's like it doesn't want to turn the rudder pedals. It's pissing me off. See, look, it's doing it again. Flight attendants advise transponder. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind if this keeps doing this. Transponder is on, TCAS is on, radar is off, CAS messages are checked before takeoff. Checklist complete. I don't know what is up with my rudder. Thrust set. Airspeed's alive. Knots. V1. Rotate. Pause the rate, gears coming up. Flex speed and heading. Can't see heading, there is heading. Autopilot, not gonna fuck around seeing that it's acting up.
Endeavour 49er64 contact Milwaukee departure on 135.875.
Turn on course.
Going to 135.875 Endeavour 49er64. Milwaukee departure Endeavour 49er64 is at 2,700 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
Endeavour 49er64, Milwaukee. Departure altimeter 29er.905 radar contact. Continue.
And an intercept angle for the course. Speeding up to the flaps up. I don't know what's up with the rudder pedals. That's gonna annoy me. They're brand new too. Like a month old maybe. I think it's more game stuff. The game is acting up. Track IR stopped working. So a bunch of stuff's kind of wonky.
Endeavour 49er64, climb and maintain flight level 220.
220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220 Endeavour 49er64.
220. Going over to nav. And we'll go to cruise power, or climb power rather.
Endeavour 49er64, contact Chicago Center on 125.1. Good day.
125.1 Endeavour 49er64. Goodbye. Chicago Center Endeavour 49er64 is passing 9,200 feet, climbing flight level 220.
Endeavour 49er64 Chicago Center altimeter 29er.905 radar contact. Continue to Ruby.
Ruby.
Chicago Center Southwest Tree 644 Heavy is at 14,300 feet, climbing 15,000 feet.
Flying the sun the whole time.
Southwest Tree 644 Heavy, Chicago Center altimeter 29er.904 radar contact. Continue to CHCHD.
serving sandwiches.
Ooh, a tailwind. We like that.
Chicago Center, Delta 111
51
tree
knot
heavy
tailwind,
is at flight
nice.
level tree 20, climbing flight level tree 40. Delta 111 tree heavy, Chicago Center, radar contact, continue to BRWRY. Southwest tree 644 heavy, you are 27 miles northeast. Climb and maintain 10,000 feet, expect ILS runway 19er right approach via Adele transition. Cleared to Adele. Southwest tree 644 heavy, you are 26 miles northeast of Milwaukee. Contact Milwaukee Tower on 124.575 when inbound on the approach. Tower on 124.575, Southwest tree 644 heavy. Endeavor 49er64, contact Chicago Center on 128.5.
185.
Good day.
Going to 128.5 Endeavor 49er64. Chicago Center Endeavor 49er64 is passing flight level 200, climbing flight level 220.
Endeavor 49er64, Chicago Center, radar contact, continue to Ruby. Endeavor 49er64, climb and maintain flight level 270.
270.
Climb and maintain flight level 270 Endeavor 49er64.
Dude down there.
Cessna 5 Charlie Tango, contact Chicago Center on 125.1. Good day. Going to 125.1, Cessna 5 Charlie Tango. Endeavor 49er64, climb and maintain flight level 350.
350.
Climb and
That's the
maintain
final.
flight level 350 Endeavor 49er64.
350. check that. Fuel crust low. Source versus bleed the APU set. Gas is checked. Climb checklist complete. Got amber 2. I clicked it on, but it didn't come on. Climb checklist complete. Now see if we pick up a hair ice here. We got, yeah, got a TAT of -13. Chance of picking up ice. We'll see. Won't be for long if we do get it.
Endeavor 49er64, contact Chicago Center on 134.905.
134.955.
Good day.
Going to 1 tree for decimal 9 or 5 Endeavor 49er64. Chicago Center Endeavor 49er64 is at flight level tree 5 climbing flight level tree 50.
Endeavor 49er64, Chicago Center, radar contact, continue to Ruby.
Ruby. That would be 340 for 350. Go ahead and let the people walk. approach in there just so that we get times. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know why it changes that like that. Weird. I don't know why it changes that when you put in the leg. It's at the end. Not like I put it in right before. KMKE-KLGA, let's get rid of that discontinuity. Yeah, Crazy Young.
Endeavor 49er64, contact Cleveland Center on 127.7.
277,
Good
sir.
127.7 Endeavor 49er64. Goodbye. Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er64, Cleveland Center, radar contact, continue to Ruby.
Ruby.
Cleveland Center, Skywest Tree 661 is at 8,300 feet, climbing 11,000 feet. Skywest Tree 661, Cleveland Center, altimeter tree 0.03, radar contact, continued in ops. Skywest Tree 661, contact Chicago Center on 128.5. Good day.
Yeah, level at 350. About an hour and 21 minutes.
128.5,
Dishes.
Skywest Tree
I'll be back.
661. Goodbye. Endeavor 49er64, contact Cleveland Center on 126.75. Good day. Endeavor 49er64, please acknowledge.
One 126.75 Endeavor 49er64. Goodbye. Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er64, Cleveland Center, radar contact, continue to berries. 49er 64 contact Cleveland Center on 127.7. Good day. Endeavor 49er 64, please acknowledge.
One two 7.7 Endeavor 49er 64. Goodbye. Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er 64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er 64 Cleveland Center radar contact, continue to Twigs.
No word about the major update. Probably be around noon, I imagine. Yeah, I think some of those, like, what do you think it's going to be? They're pretty silly just because, like, the polls, because people are just going to, again, it's wish thinking. They're going to put whatever they want to happen. It's going to be not Stormworks. Yeah, they said they're not making a Stormworks 2. Or that's currently not what they're making, so. I don't foresee a Stormworks 2 anytime soon. If there is one. I find it highly unlikely that they would ever add any sort of voxel or destructible blocks to a already built game like this. You know, that's it, again. They're not going to completely rewrite it. I find that highly unlikely. So I highly doubt any of that. I think it's probably just a pretty standard major update. Probably be sales, is what I'm thinking, just because that's the last thing.
Contact Cleveland Center on 132.25.
13225. Endeavor 464. Sure. 13225. Yeah, that's correct.
132.25 Endeavor 49er64. Goodbye. Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er64, Cleveland Center radar contact continue. Endeavor 49er64, contact Toronto Center on 134.375. Good day.
They're already switching again on me, huh?
Going to 134.375 Endeavor 49er64.
34375. I'm not gonna type it in. Here.
Toronto Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er64 Toronto Center radar contact continue. Endeavor 49er64 contact Toronto Center on 135.3.
Changing me again. Jesus Christ.
Good day.
135.3 Endeavor 49er64. Goodbye. Toronto Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 49er64 Toronto Center radar contact continue.
Yeah, I doubt there's going to be any sort of like, there'd ever be any sort of voxel change or damage change. Like, there could be something small, but I doubt it. It's like they have to completely rewrite the way they do it, and that's something that's like best done in the beginning when they're first starting, not, you know, the game that's, you know, what do they say, 7? They said they've been working on this game for 10 years, you know, for Stormworks. You know, to change something like that's pretty silly. And the other thing too is to do it for free is nonsense, because it's you know, it would be like keep giving the game free to everybody who's bought it before. It's like Farm Sim, right? Let's look at Farm Sim. Like there have been some versions of Farm Sim I've played less than others, but like let's look at my Farm Sim here. Alright, so I did play 2013, 15, 17, 19, 22. So let's look. 78 hours. I did play this on another PC before, so I have more hours in 13 than that, I think. 276 in 15, which I probably have more than that too. 1,000 in 17, 41 hours in 19, and 128 hours in 22. I've never regret spending the money on the farming sim games. If, you know, some people have this notion that, oh, well, they should just update the game for free and just give it to you for free. Well, none of these games here would exist if they did that. The way they need to do it is I know you guys know this, but like a lot of those people, you know, who always complain they want everything for free, is like, Farm Sim 2013 was very limited. They had very limited things. I think I played 11 too. And so like you couldn't even put some of the vehicles on trailers because there was no sort of attachment mechanic. And so they needed to rewrite huge parts of the game and completely revamp it. And so that's a lot of labor. You know, you're paying developers to do all this work. Well, you need money to make, not only to pay the developers, but to then turn a profit, right? So what do? You change a bunch of things people wanted, and you release in 2 years the next game, right? And then in 2 years you release the next game, and you ask full price for it. In the next game, full price. Next game, full price. You know, and that's the way that it should be done. It's like, they're not going to rewrite Stormworks, or they shouldn't, for free. You know, if they're going to make Stormworks 2 at some point, which, you know, if it keeps being a solid property, they probably at some point will do it. Again, that's not their goal right now. And I agree, it's not, you know, it's still working well. It's fine. It's like, let's look at Steam DB. But they need to ask for money, you know, and it's like, the attitude of some of the people who are just like, think they want everything for free. It's like, that's not how this works, man. Like, every once in a while you get a game that can completely rewrite a ton of the engine, and it'll be fine, because they're very popular games and they get huge influx of new people, and it's very much a mainstream game. Stormworks is not a mainstream game. It's a very niche game, and so you're not going to get that where you can do that. So like, if we look at Farm Sim, alright, space, you want a space? Alright. Alright, so Farm Sim 2011, I did play 2011. Alright, so let's see. Released 14 years ago. Let's see, I'm trying to see what the highest price was. Did they have a highest price? I don't know if they have a highest price, but, you know. But, yeah, I don't see a highest price. But it wasn't like a $70 game, let's put it that way. I think maybe 20 bucks at most. You know, and it's a very limited game. Like, you can just look at the screenshots here. Like, no grass texture. Very, like, no texture really on that. Very simple. Like, you couldn't even move the bales. It was just like, you just go run the bales. You couldn't really do anything with them because you couldn't move the bales. So they were just like, it was fun to just go do the farm thing, but you really couldn't sell bales. Move them.
Goodbye. Toronto Center Endeavour 49er 64 flight level 350.
Endeavor 4964.
You know, so like those are the
Toronto Center radar
screenshots for
contact.
that.
Continue to CFTBR.
You know, and so you got 11 people in game right now. Let's see, let's go back. Oh, come on, you son of a bitch. Do that. So let's check 13 out. Like, what the, why? Like, come on. This site sucks. This is Titanium Edition, which isn't the original edition, but like 14 bucks. I remember like some of those were around 14, 15, 20 bucks, something like that. What the hell? Come on, man, just give it to me. You know, so then you get 15, you start seeing the game's getting better. They added things like forestry because people wanted it. So like, for example, like, you know, we asked for forestry in Stormworks, but like in order to put forestry in, they really needed to add it as a new part of the game. Like they needed to make the trees work in a way that would, you know, that would operate with the game. And so when they did that for, you know, 15, adding forestry, they needed the new game to do it. And I think Farming Sim was a great idea to do it on a 2-year basis. And like, you know, people cry and complain about, you know, Stormworks being a, you know, $25 game, which is nothing. 25 bucks is nothing. Like, and if you're in another country that has a lower, here, let's like bring up Stormworks. Like, I get it, some of the countries are expensive, but like, you know, if you're in Russia, it's 880 rubles, which is 10 bucks. You know, I understand different places have different economics, but it's like, it's still incredibly cheap for the amount of time you can pour into a game. You know, and so it's, I think it's pretty silly when people think that they're going to be, you know, that any of this, like, do huge things without any sort of money change. You know, they need to ask for money for these things. It's just like, it's too much of an undertaking. And, you know, multiple times, you know, the developers of Stormworks have said they're not going to make big changes because essentially, like, I'm paraphrasing, this is my own editorialization of it. Like, Deltars was much nicer to the community than I'll be in this comment. The community can't handle it. Community acted like a bunch of whiny crybabies, you know, and I certainly don't mean everybody. You know, I know most of the people in my community were fine, but there are a bunch of whiny crybabies who, like, couldn't just take a couple weeks off, couldn't just, like, at worst case, a month and a half off. Like, literally, I played Farming Sim for, like, 2-3 weeks, and then went back to Stormworks, and it was fine. Like, literally, my video for Steam tutorials came out in November, about a month after the update, the pressurization update, and Steam has worked pretty much the same the entire time through. You could take my Steam tutorial video, follow it from November, a month after the pressurization update, and all of your Steam stuff will still work. You know, and the problem is a lot of people were building things what I would say is either wrong, or they relied on that pressure node, which was faked. So like, I never used the pressure node because I never saw a reason why would you use a fake node. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I never used it, and all my stuff worked. You know, and it was.
125 decimal, 2 Sunwing 732 heavy. Goodbye.
I got distracted by listening to the radio, but yeah. So it's like, you know, so after the pressurization major update, you had all those, you know, you had so many people throwing fits. There were death threats and like just whiny fits, and like you look at now, it's fine. And it's like, so the devs have stated multiple times since that they're not making big changes because the community can't handle it. And it would be great if they would. Like, it'd be like, people keep saying, oh, you know, when are they going to fix buoyancy? They're not, because the same people who want buoyancy fixed will cry that they have to remake their vehicles. And so that's why it's not going to happen. So that would have to be a new version of the game that would have to, you know, be new money. You have to put new money in. You just have to. All right, we'll get off that hobby horse there. 725. Yeah, that's not bad money for Farming Sim. Yeah. Yeah, like CJ's saying.
Christ. Time,
call here.
Good day.
125.2 Endeavor
You know, like
49er
CG's saying it's
64.
30.
Goodbye.
It's 30, and he's gonna get 3 to 4 years of it. It's like, you know,
Cleveland Center
what else
Endeavor
is that
49er
cheap? I don't
64,
understand.
flight
Like,
level 350.
I don't understand. Like, how? Like, what are these? Are these just children that don't make any money, or like what? That complain about a $30 game? Like, I don't get it, man. It's like, yeah, would it be great if you didn't have to spend money for anything? Sure, but that means you're not going to make any money either. Basic economics. And it's like, you know, you can go buy a game for $30 that lasts you a hell of a long time. Like Stormworks, I've got 7,000 hours in Stormworks. Like, some of it is, you know, leaving the game on and forgetting it's on, but a lot of it's me playing the game, you know, for that amount of money. Like this game, Flightsim, I got it on sale. It was like, I don't know, 50 bucks or something. And I don't know how many hours I got in it right now. Let me look. Flightsim, I've got 178 hours. So let's say 50 bucks. So that's 28 cents an hour. Okay. So I paid 28 cents an hour to play this game. Pretty friggin' cheap. You know, somebody was talking about, you know, how much Disney costs now. Let's see what a Disney day pass is. Just checking tickets at Disney. You know, you have to compare it to other goods and services, or else, like, when people say, oh, that's expensive, like, you know, you have to put it to other goods and services. So a one-day ticket at Disney is $119. So 119 divided by 8 hours. Let's say you can spend 8 hours at the park. That's $14 an hour. Okay, so that's to go to Disney is $14 an hour. That's if you drive in and you don't have to do a hotel or overnight stays. You know, that's what Disney is like. Going to a movie. Let's see what a current movie ticket costs by. You know, not to mention that you're paying $5 for popcorn, at least $10 for popcorn. I think. Here, Venom last.
64 contact Cleveland Center on 125.875. Good day.
How's it going, Owl? I meant to say hi to you, and I thought I did.
125.875 Endeavor 49er 64.
So a not discounted ticket for the Venom movie.
Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er 64 flight level 350.
Is going to be about $15.50. So, you know, the base game for Stormworks is 25 bucks. So you're talking more than half of what the base game is. It's an hour and 49 minutes. So let's say 2 hours, right? So 15.49 divided by 2, $7.75 an hour. Pretty normal, right? If I go get a slice of pizza, which is actually 2 slices of pizza, it's a quarter and they cut it in 2. It's about $6.75 plus a dollar tip. That's $7.75 for a lunch. So, you know, $7.75 for a lunch. You know, so it's like, you know, when people complain about like stuff that cheap, it's just like, dude, one of the cheapest forms of entertainment you can ever have is buying video games. And it's like the complaints that people have is like, oh, 5 years ago I paid $25 and I poured 2,000 hours in it, and oh my God, it's not worth my money. It's like, dude, are you nuts? It's just nuts. No, $10 for pizza in Italy, yeah. I've never been to Italy. I'll go sometime. Yeah. But it's like, you know, I don't like it. I think it's just a lot of them are just like a bunch of whiny kids. it's like of all the things to whine about for money-wise, it's like, you know, my electric bill is not high, and it's $130 a month. My internet, $95 a month. That's not high. Phone bill, $50 a month. And then people complain about the game that is, you know, that gives them thousands of hours of entertainment costs, you know, half of what my phone bill costs a month. And I paid it once, years ago. You know, like, let's see what a WoW subscription costs now. Let's see, WoW subscription, 12-month offer, $12.99 a month if you buy for the year. So let's see what it is if you don't buy for the year for a WoW subscription. So 6-month is $12.99, 3-month is $13.99 a month, 1 month $14.99. That doesn't mean, that's not for buying the game. That is just for a monthly WoW subscription to get the latest you know, stuff. Now, I think, you know, when I played WoW, you know, I thought it was worth it if you wanted to play. I played with some friends and I enjoyed it, and, you know, I didn't feel like it was bad money spent. But to spend $14.99 a month, I think is perfectly reasonable for a developer to keep working on a game. You know, they have to sell you something or else the game can't continue, period. And that's what DLC is. When people complain about the DLC, it's like, do a monthly subscription, you know. You know, if you considered the DLCs for Stormworks a monthly subscription, they were $10. That's 83 cents a month. So, would you be willing to spend 83 cents a month to play Stormworks? I would. Even if there was a month I didn't play at all, I'd be like, okay, 83 cents. What is that to me? Nothing, right? So, like, I think some people just need to get their head out of their ass and, like, think of things a little bit more realistically, you know. You know, you can go get shitty food. Like, people will be like, you spend $13 on a sandwich? Yes, because I don't eat shitty food. You know, I eat healthy. I don't buy shitty food. I support local businesses. I don't go to some greasy chain that puts a ton of high fructose corn syrup in all their dough for some reason. Like, don't do it. You know, I understand some of these people go and just buy garbage. I don't buy garbage. You know. But yeah, I think it's pretty silly, just like some of that nickel and diamond on it. It's like, again, if you don't support the things you want, like if you stop going to the restaurant you like to go to, they close. If you don't support the games you like to play, they stop making that game. Like, you know, every once in a while we'll get a complaint thread in, it'll be a complaint post in the Stormworks discussions about Carrier Command 2. And I always love to post SteamDB and put the same thing as, you know.
Endeavor 49er64, contact Cleveland Center on 127.475.
127.475.
Good day.
Going to 127.475 Endeavor 49er64.
Coming up on Hack now.
Cleveland Center Endeavor 49er64 flight level 350.
So like Carrier Command 2.
Endeavor 49er64, Cleveland Center radar contact. Continue to VJNKK.
Hack. You stand by, I'm going to bring up a comparison here. So, like, every once in a while you get that one dude or a couple people who go in. They go into Stormworks discussions to say, when are you going to work on Carrier Command 2? That's not how any of this works. Carrier Command 2, 24 people in game. Stormworks, 1,477 people in game. 24, 1,477. 1,477 divided by 24. So Stormworks has 61.5 times the amount of people playing it right now at 9:53 a.m. You know, of course, Europe is also playing. Then Carrier Command 2. So why do you think they don't keep updating Carrier Command 2? There's only 24 people playing the game. So the likelihood that some new player is going to buy that, let's say 1% of the total player base, you know, that's playing presently will buy the game in the future. All right. So what's that? 24 times 0.1%. So let's see. You have less than one person is going to buy that game. All right. If you do the same math, just move the decimal place. 14 people will buy. So 14 new people will buy this for every a quarter of a person that will buy Carry Command 2 if the same 1% number works, right? So they can't put the money into Carry Command 2 because nobody's friggin' playing it. Why would they, right? It's a product that nobody is buying, right? If you have a product that's selling like hotcakes, you work on that. So of course they're gonna, you know, keep all their resources over here because nobody's playing this. Now, if this number was ticking up and they said, ooh, number's ticking up, let's throw a developer at it, let's see if we can't put out a new patch and get the player number to come up. If they did that and the player number shoots up, then they would put more resources towards it, but there's no point, you know? So it's like when people come complain about it, it's like, you have to support the thing you want. You have to support the games you want to continue. So it's like when people wanted to do like the fucking, what did they want to do? It was the review bombing and the boycotts. That is not helpful. That is hurting things.
Air Canada 70 Tree Heavy Contact Cleveland
You know, the
Center
devs will and
165
should
75.
ignore the people who do silly shit like that. They should focus on the people who stay. Because the people who stay are not fickle. They're going to stay. You know, so you say, okay, well, that's what they want. Let's give them what they want. The people who are fickle and whiny and cry all the time and haven't touched the game in 6 months but still come in and haunt the forums, why would I do what that person wants when they don't even play the game, right? There's no point, right? You know, so there's no point to it. And that's why they don't, you know? Yeah, like Carry Command 2, it's, you know, like, look at the charts on Carry Command 2. That's door marks. Let's look at the charts here. All right, that's Carry Command 2. You know, you had a bunch of people, even like big-time streamers, who were playing Carry Command 2. Look at the all-time peak, 2,969 players. All right, all-time peak is double. All right, but look at the 24-hour peak.
Endeavor 4964, contact New York Center on 133.35. Good day.
133.35 Endeavor 4964. Goodbye. New York Center Endeavor 4964 flight level 350.
You know, so the 24-hour peak is close to what the all-time peak was for Carry Command. Now, every once in a while you get some Mo who's like, look, they said this back in April, right? You heard this all in April. They took this downturn here, and they said, look, the game's dying. No, it doesn't, man. You know, look at this line here. This is the 2.5K line. This is your general trend here. This is where most of the game hangs around. This was the ramp up from release to when the game was pretty much where it is.
436, you are 27 miles south. Descend and maintain 9,300 feet.
Alright, let's start paying
Expect runway
attention.
10 approach via Sierra Yankee Romeo
No, that's not
transition.
us.
Clear to Sierra Yankee Romeo.
Oh, that's Syracuse. He's going to Syracuse. Like I say, they're not descending us this far up. You have to go past RKA. Alright. But like a lot of those people, again, it was they want the game to fail, so they're saying, oh, look at the numbers are terrible. And so, you know, the same people saying that example that nobody wants DLC. Bullshit. DLC. I think it's actually here. What is it? I think that was DLC. I think this is probably 1.0. I can't remember. Let's see. When was release update? September 2020. Look, there it is, right there. That's release 1.0. So that was when 1.0 came out. A lot of people jumped on, and then you get normal attrition. We got some spikes, and then probably these are major updates. Major update. Quarterly, January, May. And then you had October was your DLC. And then that is a major update, DLC. Some of these are major updates. We did get one. This was space.
Endeavour 5436, contact Syracuse, approach
DLC.
on 134.275. Good day.
That's, they're still talking to the other one. You know, so that was, so again, like when people say nobody wants,
134.275, Endeavour 5436.
when
Goodbye.
people say that nobody wants DLC, bullshit. Like, the devs can read a graph, go in here, yeah, people want DLC. The best numbers they ever get is when they release a DLC, right? The failed space DLC that nobody wanted got 5,162 people to play the game and buy it. You know, and I would say a lot of those people didn't just boot up the game to just boot up the game, they bought the DLC. So you have a large number of people buying the DLC. You know, this is an artificial low point because of all the issues that there were with the pressurization part of it. The space DLC was fine. Like, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was fine. It was the pressurization changed a lot of things. The devs did a lot of balancing. There were some cool features they got rid of because people couldn't figure it out, and they got frustrated and cried. And so the devs threw them a pacifier to keep them from complaining. We'll just make it easier. We'll just dumb it down so they don't have to try to think. You know, that subset of people.
Boston Center Endeavour 49er64 flight level 350.
You know, and so there's an artificial low point here where, you know, where people, even myself, I stopped playing for a couple weeks because I wanted, like, why am I, you know, like, people kept being like, oh, this is the third time in this week I've had to rebuild my ship. No, it isn't. You didn't have to rebuild your ship in 3 weeks. You chose to rebuild your ship because you couldn't just chill out and be patient and wait. You know, and so then the game went into a normal status here. Normal status. Normal. And if you look, the game averages a little over 2.5 thousand people. That's what it normally averages at. All of this time here was COVID. Every game had greater numbers during COVID because more people were home to play games. So you had more people playing because of COVID. You know, and this is the normal trend line. If you look, if you drew an average trend line through here, it'd probably be somewhere right around here. That's pretty average. You know, it's people can't read a chart and they try to read into the chart what they want to read into the chart. You know, like if you look at the normal average for a carrier command, this is about the normal average, right around here. Let's say right there, 198 people a day. That's how many people play carrier command 2. Yeah, that's pretty basic stuff that I think a lot of these people like just don't know how to read a chart. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, you know, I remember, you know, I played Beam back, like, way back when it first started. They were working on it. It was kind of a cool concept. I haven't touched it since, but, you know, like, I have no problem with the game being in constant development. I think it's an old style, like, you know, back when I was a kid, games came out. Like, it was all console. Games came out. They never got touched again. You know, for example, like when I used to buy PC games, they came on floppy disks. And so how you can't update that. You've got the game. You can't update that. And the problem was you had very simple games that had very little innovation because literally it had to be pretty much perfect or at least really playable because you couldn't update it. And so, yes, it's led to some lazy developers who put out stuff that's broken, but it's also, you know, the other side of that coin is you get some good innovation. They try things. Sometimes those things don't work out. They try something, community doesn't like it, and so they roll it back. They try things, and the community loves it, and they keep it. You know, that's all great things. You know, so it's like people dog on this, you know, that games don't come out completed or like, you know, this stuff. It's like they, you know, so many companies are able to exist now because they can put out games in early access that get them the money required to pay the bills. And then they release a game and they already have a following, so they don't have to go spend a shitload of money on advertising because people already know what their game is. They don't have to put it on TV. People have already been playing the game for 3 years. So those people stay, and word of mouth and YouTube and everything else, and more people buy it. You know, and then the things that they've been wanting to put in, they didn't need to have on day one. They can put them in later. You know, it's a great thing. I don't know about Vulcan. Yeah, like you used to buy a game on floppy disks and it'd have like 7 to 10 floppy disks, and you'd have to like put in disk 3 and load, and put in disk 4 and load. And if there was a bug in that game, that bug stayed in there forever. You know? But yeah, I think the iterative build system is so much better now. All right, let's brief the arrival. All right, we're doing the Nobby 5. We're coming in off Rockdale. We expect 17,000 at Pita. Cypher, Tracer. I believe we're going to Pauling, or we're going... No, probably not. We're probably going to Kingston. Nobby, we expect 8,000. Carmel, Rhymes, and then we'll go in on likely ILS-22. They have not assigned me an approach yet, but I'm thinking something for 22. You know, I think it's very smart. I think it's smart for the Stormarks devs to. I think it's smart for the Stormarks devs to come up with a new game. Again, I think it's, what are we at? 3, 5, 10, 8.
Boston Center Endeavour 49er64. Request flight level 270.
I gotta start getting down.
Endeavour 49er64 descend and maintain flight level 270.
Descend and maintain flight level 270 Endeavour 49er64.
I'll try to do another 10 after that.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect ILS runway for approach via Hanley transition cleared to
I
Hanley.
don't know why the game can't get this right. Like, it's got the expects. I wonder if it's expect and it doesn't know what to do with expect. That's probably what it is.
Feet.
Endeavour 49er64 descend and maintain flight level 270. Expect 17,000 feet.
Well expected.
Descend and maintain flight level 270. Expect 17,000 feet. Endeavour 49er64.
Yeah, because we're going to be at Peter in a minute. We're supposed to be down at 17,000. You know, it says expect below 17,000 now. Again, the expects they don't necessarily have to give them to. They usually do. There's a reason why it's in there. You see all these mountains on the chart. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of good games coming out that I'm looking forward to. You know, Farming Sim, the new Flight Sim, hopefully fixes a lot of the issues I've been having with this one. I'm looking forward to the new looking forward to the new content patch on On Derail
Descend
Valley.
and maintain flight
Like to
level
get back in
210
Derail
Endeavour
Valley would be
49er
fun.
64.
We'll have less time for gaming coming up, but you know, a bunch of these will be fun.
Endeavour 49er 64 contact Boston Center on 134 decimal tree. Good day.
Going to 1 tree for decimal tree Endeavour 49er 64.
210.
Boston Center Endeavour 49er 64 is at flight level 260, descending flight level 210.
Endeavour 49er 64 Boston Center radar contact. Continue to Cyper.
Looks like those clouds are sliding with me. I forgot track IR is not working for some reason. I shut it off because it had an issue, and then the game's having issues, I think, because like my rudder pedals are like being wonky and they're not always connecting. Start cranking this up so we don't load the passengers up with a ton of G-forces.
Endeavour 49er 64 descend and maintain 17,000
There
feet.
it is. They love to give you descent so late here. It's so
Descend and maintain 17,000 feet Endeavour 49er 64.
because it's like I don't want to level off. I end up making you level off to then, you know, it switches modes on you. Like now it's still in vertical speed mode, so it's fine. But like every other descent, it's like it goes altitude capture, picks the nose up, you know, and that's just, it's not comfortable. It's like you keep feeling G-forces. We're going Kingston. Doing Kingston? I can't see. Trace, yeah, Cash. We're going past Kingston. That didn't mean we're going to Kingston. We'll go the Kingston way. There's also Pauling, which is a is from the east. This should be Hudson River. Hudson River, yep. Follow that river all the way down, you get to New York City. And he's not going to give us an altimeter because why would he? That's come back. Alright. I can actually grab it over here. Let's see what it is. Let's see. Why can't I find the altimeter setting here? Oh, fuck. The altimeter setting. Oh, it's not on METAR, that's why I was on TAF. Let's see. 3034. What? It's still that, the pressure's still that high on the East Coast? That's nuts. Three 034. See how quickly the trend vector changes when I pull the thrust? That's because the air is so much thicker down here. Like if I did that at higher altitude, it takes a while for you to bleed up the speed. Not much air resistance. Your engines are also not producing as much thrust either. Up by Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie, New York. We're actually, we should be, are we in Boston Center? We should be in Boston Center. We don't cross over New York until it's kind of southwest of the city. Alright, how far are we off Nobby? Alright, I'm gonna ask for 8. Why can't I pick 9?
Boston Center Endeavor 49er64. Request 9,000 feet.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect 9,000 feet.
$11,000.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect 9,000 feet. Endeavor 49er64.
Yeah, we expect 8,000 in Nobby.
Boston Center Endeavor 49er64.
And they'll never give it
Request
to me.
8,000 feet.
I just asked for it myself.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect 8,000 feet. Endeavor 49er64, did you hear my last transmission?
Yeah, I'm busy. Aviate navigate.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Expect 8,000 feet. Endeavor 49er64.
I see LaGuardia is going to be over here. That's Long Island, Connecticut. That's where the East River comes in over here. Yeah, I miss derail, but I, like, pastures would be cool for derail. I guess they're redoing the map, you know. I wish those developers were a little bit more communicative. They do jump in the discussions, but they don't put up any of their own announcements. You know, I don't know if they have a Discord. They might be active there. I don't know if they're active there or not.
Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Endeavor 49er64.
Alright, so we'll make Nobby by 8,000 here, but we do need to slow way the hell down. Got to be 250 as well, so go below 10. We're pulling spoiler there. Just pick the nose up just a little bit. You don't have to pick the nose up that much to get that speed right off. Especially with spoilers out. Drop like a rock with spoiler. We'll let us a little bit of speed on there. We're only 10 knots off. You're not going to do extreme shit like yank the yoke back to hit 250. It's not worth it. Like, because they don't have your actual speed either. ATC, they don't have the actual speed you're going either, so it's not like it's not a huge deal. What's that at? 1,000. That's 9 for 8,000. Land elevation set, fuel is checked. TCAS set, radar is off, CAS is checked. Landing data is set, and approach briefing we'll do when we have the approach. We'll yank the spoilers up. Set our landing speeds minus the VREF. We'll do that when we don't need the bug anymore. that uses the bug as our VREF speed. Alright, coming up on Carmel. Told us any sort of approach yet, has he? No. I think we'll probably get the ILS 22, but we'll see. Crayley pretty much puts us on a final for 2-2. I did put it in, so it's in there. But Crayley pretty much puts us on a final. Like, we'll be able to see it. It's clear enough.
Endeavor 49er 64, contact Boston Center on 128.1. Good day.
128.1 Endeavor 49er 64. Goodbye. Boston Center Endeavor 49er 64 8,000 feet.
Endeavor 49er 64, Boston Center, altimeter 30.35 radar contact. Continue to remis.
Remus. The traffic below us there, low.
Endeavor 49er 64, contact New York approach on 132.7.
Over approach.
Good day.
We get our
Going to
Got our approach,
132.7 Endeavor 49er 64. New York approach Endeavor 49er 64 8,000 feet.
Endeavor 49er 64, New York approach, altimeter 30.35 radar contact. Continue to remis.
Here's the approach. Not yet. You gonna let us turn first? Yeah, let us turn first. Give me the approach, I want to brief it.
Endeavor 49er 64, descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet Endeavor 49er 64.
Let's get that approach in there, guy. Let's give it to us here. I'm going to heading mode.
Endeavor 49er 64, you are 2 miles northeast. Keep speed not above 240 knots. Expect RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach via
RNAV
GGREG
X-ray
transition.
31.
Clear to GGREG.
RNAV X-ray 31, Greg. All right.
Keep speed not above 240 knots. Expect RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach via GGREG transition. Clear to Greg
RNAV
Endeavor 49er
X-ray
64.
31. I love the RNAV X-ray 31. Go to Greg. Execute flight plan. Legs, rather. Greg. Greg. Previous page. Pink. Navi. Execute. nav. Zoom out to make sure we see what the hell we're working with here. There we go. I love this approach. This is an awesome approach. It gives you a real cool tour of the city. We're not going to go over Manhattan this way, though.
1 o'clock 4 miles at 4,200 feet Airbus A20 in. Report them in sight.
Yeah.
Endeavour 49er64 don't have the traffic.
There's some in scope. He's right over here somewhere. He's not. He's close to us. You can see him. He's right here. You see he's descending right there. This guy's descending as well. It's 5,000 per 4,000. This is a really cool approach. I'm going to try to actually, hopefully it doesn't get too laggy. It was laggy last time. This is one of my favorite approaches. This used to be the expressway visual, I believe. And then they got rid of that. So this is kind of, they're replacing all the visuals with GPS. So. It's funny. My for some reason, like the live playback on the studio thing, I don't know why it like waits, because it was all the way back to when we took off. All right, so this is gonna. I gotta brief the approach, so we'll look at it when we get in there. RNAV X-ray 31. RNAV X-ray 31. RNAV X-ray 31. There it is to Greg. Now let's take a look at the RNAV X-ray. And I gotta brief it. All right, RNAV X-ray, runway 31, final approach course 314, 2,200 at Car. MDA is 1,160 feet, airport elevation 21 feet. We're going to be coming down to, we're going to Greg. So here's Greg, Zared, Vader, JC, Nexol, Varez, Paku, Shay, Gakar, Daryl, Keith, Drake, and runway 31. So all this section here, we're going to be doing an arcing turn. As you can see here, this is an arcing turn. We'll go around Shea Stadium and we'll go in visual. So cross Daryl, fly visual to airport along depicted track. All right, so visual there. So pretty simple. Very cool approach though. We are doing the long tour of the city, so we are going west with Greg. It's kind of cool if you look at the you look at all the traffic, see the traffic lining up? These are all traffic trying to come on the arrival and or the approach. But I love this approach. This is probably my favorite approach. There we go. Yeah, so when we get to Zared here, we are going to be making that turn. I'm looking for speed restrictions. I didn't see any until NACAL. So 240 knots until NACAL. NACAL is going to be slowing down to 2,000. So we're going to fly over LaGuardia, over Central Park in Manhattan. Fly just to the west of the Hudson River, past the Statue of Liberty, over Staten Island. We'll be paralleling the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and then we'll be coming up through the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and then in. So down the expressway. It'll be kind of fun. I do like this. I would really like it if I had track IR on. But looks like, is that a cruise ship? Looks like a cruise ship. The new Flightsim's supposed to have like all real shipping traffic too. Like, I hope some of those gimmicks don't take away from the actual gameplay, but though we're going to be coming down this way, down the expressway, around Shea Stadium, we'll be coming into 3-1 like this. Yeah, this is a really cool approach. I like this approach. I'm trying to keep 240. I don't want somebody catching up to us. So we're flying right over LaGuardia here. All right, landing data set approach briefing's complete. Descent checklist complete. All right. So I'm just checking this. I want to make sure this doesn't get screwed up. So Jackie Calveras, yeah, that looks good. There's a weird line here that that I gotta kind of keep an eye on. That could be the missed approach. Just making sure we cycle properly. Jackie now, right over LaGuardia there. Okay. Central Park, we're going right over Central Park. So we're gonna go over Central Park, down the Hudson, past the Statue of Liberty, over Staten Island. We're gonna come across the Verrazanos Bridge. Come back up this way, then we're going to grab on pretty much the expressway around Shea Stadium and in. Get a screen shot. Oh, stop. Okay. Display cap.
Endeavor 49er 64, keep speed not above 200 knots.
There's a slowdown for Nick Hall.
Keep speed not above 200 knots. Endeavor 49er 64.
I'm gonna flap. Don't really need to, but what's going on here? Okay, I was gonna say, are we making this turn here to Nick Hall? What's going on here with this heading? Stand by. I don't. Oh, autopilot got disengaged. Fucking something dicked the autopilot. What the fuck was that? What dicked the autopilot? Oh, it was probably some button I pressed while I was trying to go into paint, you know? That shit's annoying, I'll tell you that. That's why it's always good to have your heading bug kind of where you want it, so you can easily switch it over. But the autopilot got booted. Oh, what the hell booted the autopilot? Alright, so coming down on the west side of the Hudson River here, you can see all this, Manhattan. Coming up on Liberty Island, Ellis Island, Staten Island's right ahead of us. We're a little bit further west than we should be because I don't know what kicked the autopilot, but likely me switching screens kicked it. Where's Liberty Island? Right here, you can't really see it all that well. Right there it is. I think that's Ellis Island there. Cruise ship. Staten Island is 12 o'clock. Do love this approach though. Very cool approach. Yeah. You can see how much extra time and distance and mile and fuel burn it adds doing something like this, but it's all for separation, getting everybody lined up for the right runway, and it's because JFK is right there. You kind of got to loop everybody around, and the reason why we're like right where we are is because Newark's right here. Got to keep us separated from all the airports. They run Staten Island ferries, and so you get, you can take the ferry. I don't know where it launches from. I don't know if it's Manhattan or if it's on the other side here, but to get across. There's the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. I said last time, I was thinking of Tacoma Narrows Bridge that came down. It was the Tacoma Narrows that came down because of the wind, not the Verrazano Narrows. I had narrows in the brain. But like you can see all the planes. These are all probably Newark's. I gotta do a ton of spinning for altitudes here. Once we get to Darrell, it's visual, so. Hopefully it doesn't get laggy. That's a pain in the ass when it does that.
Endeavour 49er 64 descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
3,000.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Endeavour 49er 64.
Alright, getting ready for a turn here. One of the reasons you wouldn't want the speed up that high is you'd end up making a huge arcing turn. So by putting a speed restriction there, make sure that no matter what plane you're flying, everybody's going to be making essentially the same width of turn here. If you're going too fast, you might not be able to make it back in on the other side of that turn. Staten Island. You know, if we're at a high speed here, we're gonna screw Vera's in the turnaround. So make a nice square turn because we're not going that fast. I say not that fast. We're going 200 knots. Like most general aviation airplanes don't hit 200 knots. You know, full speed. It is cool with the bay here because there's a lot of big ships are coming in. So you get some that sit out here waiting to come in. No point in taking them all in the busy area here. And then I haven't got any more of his videos. Every once in a while you'll subscribe to somebody, you stop getting their content sucks. Like I used to watch a lot of Tim B at Sea. I like watching his tugboat videos. He works the harbor here. All right, so we expect 2,500 Shea. Nice view of the city there.
Newark approach, Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy is missed approach at Newark. Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy, you are 1 mile northeast. Climb and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 22 left approach via PTR in transition. Cleared to PATRN.
Yeoman Greco Paco. We should be right to Paco. Alright,
Climb
Paco.
and maintain 3,000 feet.
Yeah, there's
Expect
something
ILS
screwed here. I gotta
runway 22
fix
left
it.
approach via PTR in transition. Cleared to PTRN. Spirit Wings
Shay.
2386 Heavy.
Glad I caught that. That looked weird. There we go. There was some weirdness there. Left over. So I got that fixed now. Get a call, did it? Now. Gonna give us the descent here soon.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Keep speed not above 180 knots.
Descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Keep speed not above 180 knots. Endeavor 49er64.
Gotta start getting ready here.
Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Altimeter 30.37.
Next is
Endeavor 49er64 traffic is 12 o'clock 1 miles at 2,000 feet. Cessna Skyhawk.
see him.
Report them in sight.
Endeavor 49er64 have the Cessna
Speed,
Skyhawk
speed.
in sight.
Endeavor 49er64 traffic alert. 12 o'clock
don't
less
care.
than 1 mile 2,000 feet. Cessna Skyhawk.
I really don't care.
Report them in sight.
Not calling it traffic.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy.
Descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Endeavor
Rep.
49er64.
Alright, so Daryl, I'm knocking the autopilot and the hand flight.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 1,100 feet. Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy, keep speed not above 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 1,100 feet. Endeavor 49er64.
Keep speed not above 210 knots. Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy. Spirit Wings 2386 Heavy, descend and maintain 2,500 feet. Descend and maintain 2,500
It's gonna suck
feet.
doing this
Spirit
without
Wings
track IR.
2386
This is
Heavy.
the approach you'd want track IR for. Alright, autopilot's coming off now. I'm gonna do lights.
Endeavor 49er64 descend and maintain 800 feet.
Descend and maintain 800 feet. Endeavor 49er64.
1,000. Oh, my landing clearance here. Landing gear down, 3 green flaps are set. Lights are set for land checks complete. There's Shea Stadium. This sucks without track IR. Give us a. Why am I not controlling my roll here?
Endeavor 49er64, you are 3 miles southeast of
Landing
LaGuardia.
clearance.
Contact tower on 118.7 when inbound on the approach.
Dude, I've been on inbound approach.
Tower on 118.7. Endeavor 49er64. Tower Endeavor 49er64 3 miles southeast inbound Arnav
I
X-ray
can't
runway
see for
tree
shit
1
with that
approach.
in the way.
Endeavor 49er64 tower. Altimeter tree 0 decimal tree 4 wind 2 tree at 6. Cleared RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach.
You gotta clear me to land here, dude. I'm about to land.
Tower Spirit Wing 710 heavy 7 miles southwest.
So
inbound,
late.
RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach. Spirit Wing
Don't do
710
this.
heavy tower.
He's gonna screw me on landing clearance because he's talking to people he shouldn't be talking to.
Cleared RNAV X-ray
I'm the most
runway tree
important
1
person. I'm
approach.
number 1 on final, you dickhead.
Endeavor 49er 64
There he goes.
2 tree at 6.
Clear me.
Cleared to land runway tree 1.
Fuck face.
Cleared to land runway tree 1 Endeavor 49er 64.
Sync rate.
200.
Tower Brickyard
200.
4478 heavy 2 miles north inbound, RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach. Brickyard 4478 heavy tower.
100.
Sync rate.
Altimeter tree 0 decimal tree 4 wind 2 tree at 6.
40.
Cleared RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach.
20. 10.
Cleared RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach Spirit Wing 710 heavy. Cleared RNAV X-ray runway tree 1 approach Brickyard 4478 heavy. Endeavor 49er 64 exit runway when able.
That screwed up the video. I really wanted a good video of this, and without track IR, it really sucks. So, kind of disappointing. The track IR, the game didn't do well with track IR for some reason this time. It booted it.
Goodbye.
Endeavor 49er 64.
That really sucks. That's my favorite approach. I'll have to just run it one day, and I'm having. So it's definitely the game's having all sorts of problems. Like, it is the reason why I'm having control problems. Is you could see, fuck, it's like that. You could see it's having lag issues, and so I was trying to roll. I was trying to roll the aircraft. Why aren't we moving? What the fuck? Why aren't we moving? Jesus Christ. This game is so fucked up right now. Game is so fucked up. It really is. Okay, I'm just gonna shut this game off. This is stupid. So, the game is doing this thing when I was coming in. I would try to roll the airplane, and it wouldn't let me roll. And what it was, you could see it was lagging, and then it would catch up. And it would go like that, and it was like, Christ, you know. And that's what's happening with my rudder. Is like, you see the rudder's moving. It's full right rudder. Look at the wheel. Unless I kicked off nose wheel steering by accident, which could be the case. Nose wheel steering's on. We have hydraulics, so something's fucked up with this game as usual. I'm really hoping that, yeah, hydraulics are fine. I'm really hoping the new game is better because this is really annoying me. Like, that was my favorite approach, and I really want to get a good video of it, and it was just like, one that's annoying is, with one person flying, it's very hard for me to talk to ATC in that type of approach. That's the type of approach where, like, you need two pilots. Like, I need to just be flying it. And, you know, and that screwed it all up, and then no track IR. I can't look over my shoulder, so I have to grab the mouse and go like this. Because that's how you line up properly with on one of these approaches, because, like, if you look at the approach, you can see this is where we were. You come up Gakar, Daryl, Keith. You're doing all of this visual from Daryl. This is all visual. If you don't see the runway from here, you go missed. So you have to see the runway, which is right here, off to your left shoulder. So you need to be able to look out your left window, see it, and then follow the course here in. So, just a pain in the ass, this game. It's just like, it's so bad sometimes. It's very disappointing. But, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like the video. If you are new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys next one. Bye.